Going deep for Smith. Irv Smith. What a run by Smith. Look at that. Touchdown. Oh, my.
How's it going, everyone? I am Sean Moriarty.
I'm Benjamin Walters.
And this is another edition of the Two Irish Brothers Show. You guys know the drill. Hit the subscribe tab in the bottom right-hand corner. Like or dislike the video for algorithm purposes. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you're always notified of new material on this channel. Now, before we get to business here of this week's game against Army, just want to throw something out there so that everybody knows that we are paying attention to this. Our good buddy, Big Ball Daddy, probably the biggest Tennessee Volunteer fan there is. I don't exactly know for sure what's going on. All I know is that he's been in the hospital for the past couple of days. And, well, from what I've seen recently, it's been looking pretty rough. And I don't even want to begin to speculate on what is happening or what could happen. But all I know is Keith and his daughter Kayla, his son Kevin, we want you guys to know that we are praying for you guys, and we're praying for Keith, and just know we're thinking of him, and we hope that whatever he's dealing with, he pulls through it. But I'm confident that he can. He's done it before. Nothing can keep this man down, and we're just fingers crossed. And we're both of us here at the Two Irish Brothers, Ben and myself, we're hoping for nothing but the best. So we're thinking of you guys.
Yep.
So, with that said, Ben, this is hands down at this point in the season. And who would have thought that we would be saying this about the Black Knights of Army?
Yep.
I said this in a prior video, and I'm kind of ripping off the announcers who said it in a previous game. But, you look at this last part of the season with Florida State on there, USC on there, and then both service academies. Who would have thought that it would have been both the service academies ranked and USC and Florida State struggling?
Yeah.
And this is another example of that, because we've got the Black Knights this week, Shamrock series in Yankee Stadium under the lights.
Yep.
The 100-year anniversary of Notre Dame playing Army in the Polo Grounds, where Grantland Rice had the famous outlined blue-gray October sky, the Four Horsemen Road again. Everybody knows that.
Yep.
Everybody knows the tradition and the history with that. And it's only fitting that 100 years later, it's a rematch. And it's even more fitting that both teams are winning teams. Notre Dame at 9-1, Army undefeated.
Yep.
But I gotta say this, Ben, and I did kind of warn you this before we started filming.
I think I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Yeah, I have to say this just to get it out there. And listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, because these guys are going to go on to serve our country.
Right.
And I'm not taking away anything from them as football players. I'm not saying that they're not good, that they don't have the skill. I'm just doing a comparison here, because we hear this all the time, Ben, year in and year out. Most of the time it's people who hate Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And even sometimes it's people in our own fan base. But every year somebody finds something about our schedule to complain about, calling it weak, saying it's not good enough, we play nobody. Well, as good as Army's been, having the undefeated record, I think they're ranked number 16 right now.
Yep.
I got to be honest. Not that this season hasn't taught us anything about maybe you shouldn't look too much into this, but let's be real. Who, compared to what I just said, who has Army played?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
I mean, I'm just telling the God's honest truth here.
Right. They haven't played. Yeah. No, they haven't really played anybody. That's the thing. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And that's kind of what happened with Navy when they played Notre Dame. We kind of boat raced them. No pun intended. But yeah, I mean, Army's numbers are impressive numbers for an Army team. But yes, you were right. They haven't played much of anybody. So,
and for the record, I'm not saying that there isn't talent or that there aren't good teams in the American. the American Conference. I mean, there are, but let's just be real. It's not the strongest conference in all of college football. It just isn't.
No.
But please continue. You were talking about the numbers.
The numbers are impressive, though. I mean, like, Army has some impressive statistics. Like, they're putting on a clinic right now. And it will be really interesting to see what happens this Saturday night with Army and Notre Dame.
Well, and I will say this with Army, despite what I did say about their schedule, and I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by that. But I will say this, though. This is where I'm definitely giving them a lot of credit. Against that kind of schedule, they are doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Absolutely. Hands down, they're taking care of business. They're doing what you're supposed to do with a schedule like that. Because you look at their schedule and you look at some of the scores here. 37-14, 42-7, 42-14, 49-7, 44-10, 45-28. That's getting the job done. And a schedule like this with all those kinds of opponents, you're doing what you should be doing.
Right.
And yeah, it all. Of course, we know what to expect out of this team.
Yeah, they're triple option.
Triple option, a lot of running. As you said, the numbers bear that out. They're looking to have probably 2 1,000-yard rushers on the season. But it all starts with their quarterback, Bryson Daly. And I haven't seen anything, but he is going to play this week, right? Because I know, wasn't he hurt?
Yes, but he's currently slated to play, yes.
Okay. Because I don't want to jump the gun, because I've done that a couple times, and it pissed off some of our viewers because they were like, I think it was the Georgia Tech game, where we weren't sure which quarterback was going to play because he was hurt. And someone was like, you guys should have known. Actually, I think it was just when you went solo when I was out.
Yeah, whatever.
So, someone said to you, it was well known that he wasn't going to play. Well, it doesn't matter. You got to talk about it.
Right.
So, but anyway, I digress on that. But yeah, it all starts with the quarterback, as I say every video. Bryson Daly, the Black Knights quarterback, been getting it done, especially on the ground, which is their strong point.
Yep.
But let's not ignore the passing, Ben, because we've seen this a lot of times with Navy in the past. They will hit you with the passing game when you least expect it.
Yeah.
And the numbers for this Army quarterback, Mr. Daly, not bad. 644 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Now, considering the fact that option teams do not pass the ball hardly at all, pretty impressive numbers.
Not too bad. Yeah.
In that situation, yes.
Yeah, and the other thing that people have to really realize is this Army defense is playing some good football. They are playing some really, really good football. You go down the line and you look at their numbers, they're averaging only giving up 10 points a game to opponents. 93 total points given up this season by their opponent, or to their opponents. It's pretty good. That is pretty darn good. And then you keep going down, 58 yards rushing on average given up, 81 yards passing. Like, what is happening right now? What is happening? Like, absolutely craziness by this offense or defense. I mean, like, I know they're playing some bad teams, but my goodness. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not worried. Like I'm gonna say this: I'm not worried about this game. I before I give a score prediction, I think Notre Dame will, handily beat Army. But that being said, you can't take away from them the fact that their statistics are saying that they are a solid football team. So Notre Dame will have some work to do. They will have some work to do in this game.
Well, and I know one thing that a few other Irish fans have been talking about is not just the Army the Army defense, but their defensive backfield in particular, and they're getting the job done in that defensive backfield. You know, they forced 14 interceptions. I'm not going to say that I've really watched any Army games on TV or anything, but it sounds like their coverage is pretty good. Like I just said, forced 14 picks on the year. But it all goes back to, again, I'm not trying to completely discredit everything they've done this year.
Yeah.
But like I said, they've been getting it done against teams they should be getting it done against. So, but like you just said too, Ben, let's just be real here. Notre Dame has the advantage, especially in the trenches, where we would probably have like a 50-pound advantage from each guy down the line.
Yeah,
I think that seems about right, because the reason why is because, well, the service academies, I mean, they're there to be military service first. So the service academies, they have a weight limit. So you're not going to be seeing some, 320-pound offensive lineman going to Army.
Right.
So yeah, running an offense like the triple option or the veer offense or whatever, that's the best way that you're able to compete. Yeah. Because you're seeing it in your dynasty on NCAA 25 or 24, the new college football game. You were telling me, man, Sean, I'm playing with Air Force right now, and I made them an air raid team, and my offensive line and receivers are just not getting it done.
Yep.
So I mean, I know it's a video game, but that's kind of a reflection of real life to a degree.
Yep.
So yeah, Notre Dame definitely has the size advantage in the trenches, but I've said this before many times with our rivalry game against Navy. Could Army do the same thing here as Navy does and have a special package set aside just for us?
Yeah, you never know.
Because I heard this on another show that I was watching the other day where they were talking about this game, and Navy, they'd like to do a lot of dives, a lot of counters. All right, do you think they're going to stick with that, or could they pull something else out of their pocket?
I don't know. We will see.
And this is what I'm talking about when you play the service academies, is this, in particular with Notre Dame. There's always something different that they do against Notre Dame.
Right.
I've been saying this for years now. But if Army's going to do the same thing that Navy does, what is that going to be?
Right. Yep. It'll be really, really interesting to see what happens with this Army and Notre Dame matchup, because it can go one of two ways. It can either be a blowout or Army ekes one out, and I'm hoping to goodness that it is a blowout by Notre Dame.
Oh, I hope so too. And the playoff committee, if it is a blowout, that is something they can't ignore. I mean, all the talk is, Ben, everybody likes to keep going back to the loss against Northern Illinois. You blow out a team like Army, who is ranked, and whether you think Army deserves that ranking or not at number 16, that's where they are.
Right.
If we're able to blow this team out of the water, that can't be ignored.
Right.
So all I know is the key is this. Two keys, but they coincide with one another. One, we can't get off to a slow start on offense. And number two, we have to keep Army off the field. Because if we allow them to go on these 7-8 minute drives that result in points, then that's gonna hamstring us.
Right.
And also we got to be careful too, because these service academies, when it comes to their blocking schemes, a lot of the time they're going for the knees.
Yeah.
Which is something that I've said multiple times too. So yeah, we just have to really be focused. Denbrock just needs to come firing all pistols out of the chute.
Yep.
Just don't hold back. And we've been seeing that too much these past 3 games. Last week against Virginia, yeah, we score quick and we get the turnover on the kickoff, score on the first drive, but then we don't score again until very late in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And well, thankfully it was Virginia.
Right.
But if this is the playoffs, might be a little different story.
Well, especially since right now we're slated to play Alabama to start everything off.
Yes.
So,
yes, number 8 in the playoff tournament seeding. We will be hosting if the season ended today. So if we want to stay in position to host that game, not only do we have to win, but we got to get some style points here. And I've always hated that. I've always hated the need for that, but unfortunately, that's where we're at.
Right.
But no, we can only take care of what we can.
Yeah.
And if we get Army's offense off the field quick and start fast on offense, there's no problem. There's no problem of us winning this game. Now, of course, you never underestimate an opponent.
No.
I probably should have said that first before anything. You do not underestimate an opponent. So the Irish better not go into this one expecting a cakewalk.
No, not at all.
You better be on a mission, a search and destroy mission. That's what your mentality needs to be right now. If I'm Marcus Freeman and the players on the team, you come in there ready to kick some ass.
Yep, I agree.
So that covers both sides.
Yep.
Now we got score prediction time. And Ben, I think you have the honors this time around.
I'm going to say Notre Dame 35, Army 7.
We're kind of in the same ballpark. Because here's the thing. I think Notre Dame will have this all figured out with the strategy and getting off the field and starting fast. But at the same time, like I said, despite how I feel about who Army has played, you can't take away from what they've done. You have to give them some respect for that.
Yep.
So I do think there might be a couple drives where Army does take advantage and we don't get started right away. So I'm going to say Notre Dame 38, Army 14.
Okay, I like it.
And maybe 17. They could get a late field goal in there somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm going to say 38-14 just because of the fact that you're most likely not going to get a 4-and-out every single drive in this game.
Right.
So you got to throw those possibilities in there.
Yep, I agree.
So Notre Dame should improve to 10-1 on this after this game, and then we just have to worry about USC after that. So other than that, Ben, this is crunch time. This is where things are officially these last 2 games, things are officially, we control our own destiny.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Everything is headed in the direction that we want to be headed in, but we got to keep it going, like you said, and control our own destiny. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Not only is it how bad do you want to make the playoffs, but now it's kind of getting greedy time. How bad do you want to host a playoff game?
Right.
Or a first-round playoff game, excuse me.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything. So as we said at the start of the video, Big Ball Daddy, please keep fighting, man. We're praying for you and your family. And as we always end every show with, it's going to be no different for this one. So I am Sean Moriarty.
I'm Benjamin Walters.
And as always, good night, God bless, and go Irish.
Go Irish. Beat Army.